For years, Breckenridge has had luxury homes, ski access, it's had Main Street, history, charm, and one of the best mountain lifestyles in Colorado. But there's only one thing Breck has never really had: a true new 5-star full-service slopeside luxury experience. And that is why Peak 8 is becoming one of the most important places to watch in all of Breckenridge real estate. Let's start with the big picture. Breckenridge has always had this really unique identity. It is luxury, but it's not trying to be overly polished or buttoned up. It still feels like a real Colorado mountain town. You've got this charming historic downtown, old mining town architecture. You can walk down Main Street in ski boots, grab dinner at a great restaurant, run into locals, and it just feels alive. And then you have the ski resort itself, which is a massive part of the lifestyle. But here's the thing that people complain about all the time. When they're renters, homeowners, or buyers, a lot of the inventory is old. And I don't mean old in a charming, perfectly restored mountain cabin kind of way. I mean old in a why is there carpet in the bathroom kind of way. Most of what people are staying in or buying around Breckenridge was built decades ago. A lot of the condo product and ski area lodging comes from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Some of it has been renovated beautifully, and some of it has not. And that's where people get confused. They're paying serious money to stay here, and they're sitting there thinking like, wait, what am I paying for? And that's not me bashing Breck. I love it, right? I live in Summit County. It's just the reality of a market where demand has been so strong for so long that even older inventory can still command a premium pricing because the lifestyle is just that good. People are not always paying for the finishes. They're paying for Breckenridge, they're paying for Main Street, they're paying for ski access, they're paying for the memory of waking up in the mountains with their kids and walking to the gondola. But the lack of truly new high-end full-service inventory has been obvious for a very long time. That is why Finale matters. The Finale is not just a new building. It's a master planned development that includes Independence townhomes, Victory Ridge home sites, and the Imperial hotel and private residences, as well as the Imperial chalets and villas. This is basically Breckenridge's answer to a question luxury buyers have been asking for years. Can I get the Breck lifestyle, but with a truly elevated ownership experience? Until now, the answer has usually been kind of. You could buy an amazing home, you could buy a beautiful custom property, but if you were looking for that newer full-service luxury resort ecosystem, Breck just did not have that in the same way as some of the other major resort markets. That's the whole Finale is trying to fill. Let's break down the project because there are a few different pieces here, and each one speaks to a slightly different buyer. The first piece is Independence Townhomes. Independence Townhomes are a limited collection of 16 residences ranging from 3 to 5 bedrooms, around 2,400 to 3,500 square feet, with 2-car garages. Initial launch pricing was from $3.9 million to over $6 million, and those numbers are important because it tells you where this project sits in the Breckenridge market. This is not trying to compete with older in-town inventory. This is for the buyer who says, I want new construction, and I don't want to compromise on finish or convenience. The buyer has been underserved in Breckenridge for a very long time. The other interesting piece with Independence is that the owners are receiving 2 lifetime Epic passes, valid for up to 60 years and subject to availability. These are obviously for founders, so the people who are buying first, not resale buyers. Now, obviously, you want to verify the current terms and availability before making any decision, but as a headline, it's a pretty wild perk if you're a serious ski family. This is not just some throwaway amenity that becomes part of the long-term ownership story. And guys, feel free to call me and text me, and I'm happy to validate all of this information with you. We'll sit down with the sales team together and we can find out all of the details. Then you have Victory Ridge, which is a totally different lane. Victory Ridge is the estate-style home site offering. These are slopeside home sites between 2/3 of an acre and 1 acre, with pricing ranging from $5.2 million all the way up to $8.9 million and beyond. And that is before you build the house. So we're just talking like unimproved lot. So by the time you buy the land, design the home, build the home, furnish it, and do it at the level that you're probably going to want, you're obviously in a much larger total investment And word on the street is that the designer that they've hired to design home sites in Victory Ridge is the same designer that designed the Yellowstone Lodge, and I believe the Yellowstone Club in Big Sky, Montana, one of the two. Either way, you're talking an incredible designer and an incredible home, literally the best home sites in all of Breckenridge. And that's the point, right? Victory Ridge is not for the buyer who just wants a place to crash during ski season. This is for the buyer who wants to build something special, a legacy. So the emotional value here is not just, I bought a lot. It's, I bought one of the last opportunities to create a custom legacy home inside the Breckenridge ski resort experience. Literally won't exist again. That's a completely different purchase. Then you have the Imperial chalets and villas, which are tied directly into the Imperial experience. Phase 1 of the Imperial chalets starts at $4.19 million. Those residences range from 2 to 5 bedrooms and about 1,300 square feet-ish to about 4,000 square feet-ish. I actually had a buyer who was looking at a 4-bedroom unit that was priced at over $8 million. They felt like that was too much to spend. I told them that you're missing out on the absolute best opportunity that Breckenridge has to offer, while also simultaneously agreeing that $8 million is a lot to spend on a property. But again, he's missing an incredible opportunity, and I'll explain why. Because this is where the products start to get really interesting. Chalets are whole ownership residences, but they are not just standalone mountain homes. They are connected to the broader Imperial service and amenity platform. So you're buying the residence, but you're also buying the experience. This brings us to the big one, Imperial Hotel and private residences. This is the piece that changes the conversation for Breckenridge, because Imperial is not just another slopeside condo building. This is being positioned as a true luxury hotel and private residence experience at the base of Peak 8, with private residences and access to this broader amenity and service ecosystem. And one of the biggest credibility markers here is that Imperial is set to be part of the leading hotels of the world. And that matters for those of you who are unaware. So we're talking service execution, staff professionalism, timing, personalization, cleanliness, guest rooms, and the overall ability to deliver a luxury experience consistently. That is the part people need to understand. This isn't just new construction in Breck. This is Breckenridge getting a hospitality product that is supposed to compete owner experience and sense of place. And the sense of place piece is huge, because the concern with any luxury development in a town like Breckenridge is always, are we losing what makes Breck Breck? So if Imperial does this right, the goal is not to erase Breckenridge's identity. The goal is to elevate the ownership and hospitality experience while still feeling rooted in Breckenridge. That's the difference between luxury that feels imported and luxury that feels like it belongs. And this is where the Imperial amenity package really starts to separate itself from anything Breckenridge has seen before. We're talking rejuvenation spas, an indoor water park, state-of-the-art fitness and wellness facilities, a ground floor lounge and lobby, an arcade, and 3 outdoor geodesic sky domes for alpine gathering experiences. Whew, that is a lot of stuff. Sign me up. Then, for chalet owners, you have priority access to additional owner spaces like the Legacy Room, which is a formal dining room, Alchemy, a tasting and demonstration kitchen, and the Vault, which is a speakeasy-style lounge for reserved tastings, intimate events, and owner liquor lockers. Interesting. Again, this is not normal Breckenridge. This is not, here's your ski locker and a shared hot tub. This is a resort ecosystem. And from a pricing standpoint, Imperial is also entering a new tier for Breckenridge. The number being discussed around this product is roughly around $3,000 per square foot and higher, depending on the specific residence, floor plan, views, and availability. But that is absolutely something buyers need to verify directly, because pricing and inventory can change quickly, as I have found out with the sales team. Now let's talk about Peak 8's emotional premium, because this is the part that I think gets overlooked. Real estate is not always logical at this level, right? Yes, buyers care about price per square foot. Yes, they care about appreciation. Yes, they care about rental potential. But in a market like Breckenridge, the emotional side is huge. People pay for the feeling. They pay for the idea that this home becomes the family place, the legacy place. This is why Peak 8 commands a premium. And with Imperial and Finale, I think that premium gets even stronger, because the product finally matches the emotion. Before, the emotional premium was mostly about location. Peak 8 was expensive because it was Peak 8. Now the emotional premium is location plus product plus service. Service is huge. Location plus new construction, location plus amenities, location plus scarcity, location plus the leading hotels of the world, location plus the ability to offer a full-service, multi-generational resort experience. Such a stronger formula. But I also want to be clear, Peak 8 is not for everybody. If you want quiet, tucked away privacy, Peak 8 may not be your best fit. Peak 8 is for the buyer who values ski access, convenience, energy, amenities, and being in the heart of the Breckenridge Resort experience. And that matters because not every luxury buyer wants the same thing. Finale gives Breckenridge more ways to answer those different buyer profiles at the highest end. That's why I think it is so transformative. It's not just that a few new expensive homes are being built, it's that Breckenridge is gaining a luxury product type it has been missing for decades. It changes the conversation entirely. And it will likely impact more than just the people who buy there. It can influence how buyers look at Peak 8. It can influence how older inventory is perceived. It can influence what sellers need to do if they want to compete. It can influence the rental expectations, and it can influence the type of buyer who considers Breckenridge instead of automatically defaulting to Vail or Beaver Creek for luxury service. So, is Peak 8 still the premier place to own in Breckenridge? If your version of premier means quiet, private, and removed, then maybe not. There are other pockets I would absolutely look at first. But if your version of premier means the strongest emotional connection to the ski resort, the easiest family ski logistics, the most recognizable base area, and now the most elevated new development Breckenridge has seen in a very long time, then obviously yes. Peak 8 is not just still premier. I think Peak 8 is entering a whole new chapter. And the bigger question for buyers is not, is Peak 8 worth it? The better question is this the version of Breckenridge your family will actually use the most? Because that's what matters. If you buy a Peak 8 and your family uses it constantly, then that premium starts making sense. But if you buy there because it sounds prestigious, and then you realize you actually wanted privacy, space, and quiet, then you bought the wrong lifestyle. And that's why I always come back to lifestyle first. Before we talk about Finale, Imperial, Victory Ridge, Independence, or any other specific property, we need to talk about how your family actually uses a mountain home. Once we answer that, the right pocket of Breckenridge becomes much clearer. So if you're looking at Peak 8, Finale, Imperial, or any of the luxury opportunities in Breckenridge, and you want to understand what is actually worth paying for, call me, text me, or email me, and you'll talk with me or someone on my team, and we'll walk through the lifestyle, the neighborhood fit, the development details, the trade-off, current pricing, current availability, and whether this actually makes sense for you and your family. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's video, and I'll see you in the next one.